I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits Dreams Come True with the Right Mindset. Today's presentation is titled Five Beneficial Tips to Letting Go of Your Old Self and Allowing Growth. In your personal development journey, there may come a point where you might feel that you are not making the level of progress that you expected. It could be due to the fact that you are still holding on to an older version of yourself who's not aligned with the vision that you currently have. You probably have certain ideas of who you are based on your past experiences. But these ideas may not reflect who you really want to be. You have changed, but you still haven't been completely letting go of the person that you used to be. You are still letting your past define you, which is holding you from becoming who you are and who you were really meant to be. If you want to grow and evolve, then you have to release your old self that you no longer identify with. The following tips will help you get there and get started on the path to letting go of your old self. So, 5 tips to letting go of your old self and making room for growth. Number 1, letting go of labels. Just because you used to be a certain way in the past doesn't mean that you have to live with that label forever. By taking on such labels, you convince yourself that you will define who you are for the rest of your life. So, you go through your life limiting yourself, assuming that you should or you shouldn't do certain things because those labels that you gave yourself based on the past behaviors and attitudes. If you believe that you can do something, then you will do it. But if you believe that you can't, then you wouldn't even give it a shot. You no longer need to identify with such labels because they are connected with your past. And so they belong there. You don't need to carry it with you in the present anymore. 2, don't let anyone shame you for changing. You probably have some people in your life who keep reminding you that what your shortcomings are and past mistakes. These people may have certain opinions about you based on decisions that you look like in the past, or they might be used to you acting a certain way that suits them. And now that you're evolving, they might try to convince you that change is bad. They may not stand for the fact that you are moving on and finding your voice, but only you know what is best for you. You shouldn't let anyone keep you from being your true self. Tune into your own needs and instead of pleasing others, let your life be what you want it to be. You have to live with the consequences of your decisions. The only person's opinion that really matters is your own. Don't let anyone use your past to immediately invalidate your current progress. So always think of it this way, it's up to you to decide what is important for you and then make it all happen. The thing is that we're all so used to living our lives in a way that others expect us to that we just don't know how to live the life we were meant to have. 3, adopt a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset basically means believing that you have entrance or that you can enhance your abilities through effort and hard work. You may think that since you behaved a certain way or made some mistakes in the past that you can't move forward. However, know that you feel stuck because you're allowing those mistakes to define you. You have a choice to not allow past experiences to hinder your ability to improve your life or take away your privilege to change. So let's go to the illusion that you can't move forward. Constantly, or rather, be constantly thinking about past mistakes that you remain stuck in the same place. Many people tend to assume that they are a product of their circumstances. They make no effort to improve and always attribute their attitudes, behaviors, and actions to their life's circumstances of other people. Simply believe that your character is fixed, may serve the purpose of righting yourself, of or rather ridding yourself of any responsibility for taking changes or creating a better life for yourself instead of wasting your valuable time and energy on self destructive thoughts. Focus on how you can invest your potential. You don't have to live in the same place forever. You can build yourself up. You can become better. You can attract better things in your life. This is what the growth mindset is all about. You will realize there are so many opportunities to be happier and better. There's so much to learn and explore. Remember that the present moment is all you have. You may be embarrassed about the things that you did in the past. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. We obtain, or rather, we obsess over the things that we can have done or should have done. In this process, we end up ignoring the good things happening in the present moment. It's a complete loss, or rather, it's a complete lose lose situation. You get nothing out of it except more pain and guilt. To change how you live your life from now on, you should have to look at the past differently. What has happened and what has not happened. The only thing left to do is to take and learn from your mistakes. You don't have to keep reliving the painful memories and prevent yourself from moving on. Come to terms with what has already occurred and use these experiences as opportunities to grow by transforming your attitude towards your past. You can transform your current experiences and blossom in the present. Be more mindful of your thoughts and behaviors. Pay attention to what you need to do now. 5. Realize that you have changed. You probably cringe at the thought of all the poor choices that you had made, how badly you used to behave, or how ignorant you used to be, and so on. You are cringing now because you have grown. You've gained more insight into yourself, and you know that you're wise enough to not make those mistakes again. So don't let the past memories drag you back. Take responsibility for your past beliefs and behaviors. Focus on the path to in front of you. Reclaim your confidence and self belief. It's also very important to practice self awareness. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're beating ourselves up about our past mistakes. We get caught up in the self doubts and keep second guessing ourselves. The more self aware we become, the more quickly you will be able to pull yourself out from what was I thinking routine and move on by letting go of the person that you used to be. You create space for a better version of yourself to flourish. Take a deep breath and decide right away that you will no longer waste your time ruminating about your past screw ups. You will no longer be kept in the shackles of unwanted memories. You will take charge and try to become better, knowing how to let go of the past and move forward. Now, also remember this: in a family, we all react in certain ways. What makes the family work is that we expect each other to behave in a certain way. So when one person changes and the other people in that relationship don't change, then there's a breakdown in that relationship, and they want to try and pull you back into being what you were because that's what makes the family work. Also, remember this: at each decade in our lives, what we want and who we are changes. What you want in your 20s and how you see yourself then is one way. And your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, even your 60s and 70s and 80s, what you want out of life changes. And we have to accept that we're no longer the person we were because when you're a little child, everything you're learning, it's new, it's different. You're experimenting, you're trying out things, you're trying to become independent. So, who you are as a child is not always who you're going to be as an adult. And sometimes the messages that we're given through life form who we think we are. And then as we get older and more mature and we learn to take control of our lives, then we change how we see ourselves. So that's always an important factor in how you relate to yourself and in how you relate to others. And you always have to accept that change in life.